And welcome everybody to the grand finals of the Super Mario All-Stars All 4 Any Percent Tournament. My name is the Elder Spork. I am joined here with my colleague, Takate. Takate, it is great to see you. This is going to be an amazing All-Japan final for the All 4 Any Percent Tournament.
Yeah, definitely. This is maybe what we all expected, the number 1 versus the number 2 seed, but certainly it wasn't all according to plan for YMGC after he got knocked out by Mars in round 3, but he was able to make his way through the second chance bracket, and if he wins this first matchup against ZZZ, there will be another match right after this one between these two players to determine the champion. If ZZZ wins this one, he is the grand champion. So ZZZ only has to win one of the two. YMGC has to win 2 matches tonight to be the grand champion.
Oh, absolutely. And just even further, we're talking about YMGC is the number 2 ranked runner in the world in this category. ZZZ is the number 4 runner in this category. This is the cream of the crop right here. This is an amazing finals. And they are starting off now. Looks like it's SMB1. Didn't see the order, but it looks like they are going to be running chronological order for this, Takate.
Yeah, the Japanese runners tend to run in chronological order, so that's what they'll be doing here. And we will get them synced up once they, get to the end of this level here. But both players are going to shroom up in 1-1, grab the Fire Flower in 1-2. That is the preferred manner of speed running any percent in SMB1 on the All-Stars version especially. So, we'll have to see how they shake out now that they're synced up. Pretty much exactly tied after 1-1 heading into 1-2.
All right, so one of the big things to talk about here for Super Mario Bros. 1 is the hitbox difference. They did improve the hitboxes in the re-release on the Super Nintendo from the NES. So familiar levels like 4-1 where small Mario could just jump over those piranha plants. No, they fixed those hitboxes. So Fire Flower is one of the the faster method and the safer method really for Super Mario Bros. 1.
And we are synced up heading into World 4. 4-1, one of the more comfortable levels in this speedrun. I love it. YMGC getting a little swag shot in there on the spiny. That's what we love to see. Have some of this. And right now, neck and neck, Spork, we didn't get a chance to do this. Do you, usually ask me this, do you have any predictions for this race and this final?
I'm going to say this right now, just peeking in on YMGC's times warming up. He is locked in. He is ready to go. A little bias here because I want to see as much All-Stars as possible. I think YMGC takes the first one, but I'm going to make a bold prediction, and I'm going to say ZZZ takes the second race and will be your grand champion after seeing the maximum amount of All-Stars.
There we go. All right, we are in 4-2. This one's a pretty important one. You got to slide through here and make sure you get Mario pushed to the right side of the screen so that we can do the infamous wrong warp, and that's where you go down this pipe, and it takes you to the warp zone where normally a vine would take you. But this is faster because then you don't have to wait for the vine to rise, climb up the vine, wait for the vine to rise again, get off of the vine. All of that takes a bunch of time. It's much faster to do this wrong warp by getting Mario pushed further to the right of the screen. That way it tricks the game into not loading the next loading zone and instead keeping the previous loading zone, which is where that vine would normally take you. So both players successfully executing the wrong warp in World 8.
I will say YMGC had a little bit of a slide there. He didn't get the optimal stop there, so he did lose a couple of in-game seconds, which does put him slightly behind ZZZ. But we are talking about a 4-game run here, so even the slightest lead just doesn't really factor in until the very end. For sure, and the only thing we really lost when that happened was the sync, but this is essentially a tie here. Both players within a second and a half of each other, a couple frame rules of each other, and I think I don't know what that was, but I think somebody left their alerts on.
Yeah, that's right. But I don't remember what I was saying, but we're pretty much neck and neck here, and as you mentioned, we're not going to know who's really in the lead until the very end. Tiny leads like this don't really matter much.
Absolutely. So 8-2 here, you're going to see where fire comes in handy. Both are going to take a safer route coming up through here, avoiding YMGC a little bit of a safer route. So he is losing a little more time here coming into 8-3, but both maintaining their power up, which 8-3, the Hammer Bros are a lot more sporadic than you would see in the NES version.
For sure. And 8-3, This is definitely a level you want to have your Fire Flower for, so it's a good thing that both runners kept their firepower through 8-2, because these Hammer Brothers can be relentless if you do not have your firepower. A nice job by ZZZ to catch that one jumping Hammer Bro and to get him instead of waiting as he falls down on top of Mario, who's able to get him in midair. So good reactions by ZZZ. ymgc also getting a 242. You see both players did a bonk there. That was on purpose to avoid a 3 in the ones digit of the timer. That 3 in the ones digit in that timer there would mean that you would get 3 fireworks, and that would cost you about a second and a half. Also, if you get 6 in the ones digit of the timer, that's 6 fireworks, cost you about 3 seconds. So avoid the 6, avoid the 3 in SMB1, but don't have to worry about that in 8-4. We just go to the axe.
All right, so 8-4. Ooh, ZZZ takes a hit here. So that allows ymgc to catch up here. Now a bit of an advantage for ymgc. ZZZ has to be careful here coming into these last couple rooms.
Yeah, not a huge advantage. The only thing that ZZZ is going to have to worry about is Bowser. He's not going to be able to take the jump through Bowser's hammers, but and of course not take a hit here in the water section. But he should be fine other than that, because in the All-Stars version, you don't get the dreaded low-taboo, the low potaboo. You get high potaboo here, always. That potaboo goes all the way to the ceiling. Bowser didn't cooperate, so these two will be essentially tied hitting the axe. Look at that. We are in sync heading in to SMB2, the Lost Levels, also known as SMB2 Japan. Really, it's just SMB2.
So they are both going to be playing Mario on this one. You do see a variation of strategy that can happen here. Luigi is also a playable character. Luigi jumps higher, has a slower acceleration, and tends to glide a little bit more. Players will almost say he's on ice. Not as bad as the Famicom Disk System version of this, but that slide is prevalent. But where Mario could could accelerate faster, his jump height means there's certain areas that Luigi can handle easier than Mario, and there's certain sections Mario can handle easier than Luigi. So it does come down to preference for the all-star runners.
Certainly, and what you'll usually see with Mario is you'll usually see players grab the power-ups. The first of the power-ups you're going to grab in the second room of 1-2 here, whereas Luigi players tend to go small only. So there is another little bit of just a strategy difference there, not just in how the characters perform, but also in what they do in that, grabbing power-ups and such. And that's because, being able to fire kill that Bowser in 4-4 is nice, and being able to fire away some enemies that Luigi could ordinarily jump over, for example, is why people tend to power up with Mario. So we see good power-up grabs from both players there, and they will now head to the climb.
All right, so what you saw ZZZ do there is a buffer jump. It is I believe as soon as you catch the power-up, if you release a jump, you do get a second jump there to buffer to get over that gap, where you saw ymgc take the safer route and just get his running speed up to get up there.
Yeah, so the second power-up grab, as I mentioned, is here in 4-1. Grab that Fire Flower, and now you are on your way. Make sure you avoid that Spiny. That can be a little bit tricky. You do have to do a bit of a slowdown on the stairs there. ymgc, nice slowdown, and also with the Spiny fire shot there. So still a little bit behind ZZZ PC, but as I mentioned, this is pretty much a negligible lead. I mean, anything within a handful of seconds is pretty negligible, especially because in SMB3 we have the dreaded hands. Why don't you mention what those will do?
Oh, well, we're going to be ending this on SMB3's No Wrong Warp, so we do have to play the entirety of World 8, which involves those dreaded hands. You have a 50-50 shot of getting each hand, whether or not you land on each hand, and that does cost about 15 to 20 seconds per runner, so you can have a sizable lead, but if you get all 3 hands and your opponent gets none, suddenly that is null and void into it. So these guys are going to just leave it up for the RNG gods here at the end of the race.
Most definitely. So we are now in 4-3, and I think we'll probably see these runners employ a safe strategy here in 4-3, because what you're going to see are these bullet bills that are firing, and they're not going to know what height these bullet bills are going to fire from. So to make sure you don't get any bad bullet bills, you do a little slowdown there, as you saw ZZZ do, and the same thing with ymgc. That allows you to be able to avoid the bullet bills and just carry on through the level without losing your power-up. So it's much safer to have that little bit of time loss to make sure you don't get hit by a bill to keep your power-ups.
The other important thing in Lost Levels 2J is your coin count. Your coin count actually dictates fireworks at the end of the level, where in SMB1, a 3 or 6 or a 1 triggers corresponding fireworks. In 2J lost levels. If your coin counter, the singles digit on your coin counter matches the singles digit on your timer, you get fireworks corresponding to either odd or even, which even gives you 6 fireworks, odd gives you 3. So you do have to be aware of what your coin count is and when you're finishing it. ymgc taking a hit there, gets the forward Bowser though, so he does not lose as much time, does have to watch the bridge animation. This will make World 5 interesting.
Yeah, he's going to play 5-1 small, and you'll see him grab power-ups in 5-2. There are 2 very convenient power-ups in 5-2. But he will have to play 5-1 small and be very, very careful in a couple of spots in 5-1. One of those being where the 2 red piranha plants kind of kiss together, and then another at the super jump section. I assume he's going to avoid going for the super jump and just go for the climb, just to make sure he doesn't take a death, so that he can get into 5-2 without dying, and that way he can grab his power-ups. There is a checkpoint in 5-2, so you want to at least make sure you get there, and he did get past the kissing piranha section, and he's gotten past the checkpoint. So if you were to happen to take a death, at least you'd only go halfway back in 5-1 at this point.
All right, ZZZ did get a super jump, but the height was not there for him, and as you see, ymgc will in fact take it safe, take the climb, and move on. ZZZ still maintaining his power up. He is going to be going into 5-2. There is a trick in the FDS version called Devil Spell that we will not see in this version. So this is a very tight platform jump coming up here to get this vine to warp to World 8.
Yeah, a little bit of a safe strat there from ZZZ in terms of bonking on that pipe intentionally so that he could let the piranha plant come down and then shoot the fireball. But, you know, I mean, that costs almost nothing, especially in such a long run. And he gets the vine jump. It looked like he was going to fall down the gap, but he didn't. Don't worry. He always knew that platform was going to be there. And perfect 5-2 for him, given the strats that he used. So nicely done. And now it's ymgc's turn to head over to the vine jump here. Let's see if he is execute it. Does. And he wasn't able to go down on the platform. His elevator cycle was a little bit different, so he had a little bit of a long wait, but no problem there. And they are both into World 8.
All right, interesting safety strat there using the Buzzy Beetle there in the front of 8-1. He did miss a bit of a jump there, so this is a little bit tighter in this section in 8-1. Hammer Bros will not be a problem because you are powered up. Oh, beautiful slide, as I said that with the hammer right there.
Yeah,
great job.
Boxes. So those hammers have boxes, even still in the All-Stars version. And as we were talking, ymgc misses a jump off of that block there, just must have pressed A later. I don't know what happened there, but he takes a death. So he has a power-up loss and a death now, and that allows ZZZ to open up an even bigger lead. So now we're really at the point where we can actually call this a true significant lead for ZZZ PC. We're probably in the double-digit seconds now, at least. So I think this is a real lead. You see ymgc trying to grab the fire there, but the Hammer Bro didn't quite. At that point, it cut your loss and just move on. So he's going to try to head into 8-2 as Big Mario only.
All right, and just again, looking at that, it looks like ymgc got caught with the wind physics there. If you are just fractionally off in that section there with the wind physics, it will push you right off that ledge and down into the pit. If you've run lost levels, you have gone down that pit several times thanks to that wind. So 8-3 coming through here. We're up in the clouds now. ZZZ is going to be just casually blasting through, taking the spring up and down. Get through these Hammer Bros. There is a hidden block we now have to hit with a Poison Mushroom. Beautiful job with the P-Speed. Getting up, ZZZ is going to go up through, bounce off the Koopa, get up to the flag. We are now into the final level of Lost Levels.
He just avoided the fireworks as well. You see the 55 on his coin count there, and he got a 4 on the timer, just barely. If he had gotten a 5 there, he actually would have gotten fireworks, because fireworks work differently in Lost Levels than they do in SMB1. If you match the ones digit of your coin count and the ones digit of the timer in flagpole levels, you will get fireworks, and it'll be 3 if it's an odd number and 6 if it's an even number. Also, he would have gotten a 1-up because he's on a multiple of 11 on the coin count. So if you're on a multiple of 11 and that happens, you also get a 1-up.
All right, so a couple of tough tricks there. I didn't see if ZZZ went for the fast start with the buffer jump. We'll see if ymgc goes for it. But the G-Room there, the turnaround, that was an awesome job. The endless hallway here, ymgc gets the buffer jump beautifully. You're going to see him slow down, blast the Koopa, go through. Everybody get ready to say hi to our friend Bruce. Let's see.
Hey,
Bruce gets a little backwards. That's okay. We still love you, buddy.
Alrighty, ZZZ making his way past Bruce, and one more Bowser left, and then he will be heading on to SMB USA at a time of 13:59. So essentially 1 second short of 14 minutes there. That'll give us a chance to compare how far back YMGC is. We'll see if YMGC ends up grabbing the Fire Flower at the end of this long hallway, or if he just takes damage boost through either Bruce or Bowser. The advantage of grabbing the Fire Flower is you can damage boost through both of them, or I should say, you can fire kill one of them and damage boost through the other. So he foregoes that and just decides to go big through here, so he will be able to damage through one of the two enemies. Doesn't need to with Bruce. He waits for the hammers to clear and heads on to Bowser. Meanwhile, ZZZ in SMB2U, YMGC looks like he's going to have a time of around 14:43, so that's about 44 seconds behind ZZZ heading in SMB2.
All right, so we see ZZZ take Luigi here for SMB2U. What is SMB2 for our American audience here? Both are going to start with Luigi. There's 4 playable characters here: Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Princess. Each have their own unique advantages and disadvantages to the levels. Luigi has that high jump like you would have seen in Lost Levels if either of them had run it. Peach has a floating jump that gives her a little bit of height. Toad will run fast when carrying heavy objects, and Mario is just Mario.
And Mario's Mario. I love it. But there are very good uses for Mario, one of those levels being 1-1, but we're not going to see either player use that strategy because it is a much riskier strategy, even though it is fastest of them all. If you miss it, then it's the slowest of them all. So no Mario in this run for these guys, but we do see the Luigi strat for ZZZ in 1-2 as well, and that lets him get the key, which you don't have to end up waiting on the eggs. Basically, the key hits the eggs and stays in place and bounces around, and Birdo gets killed really quickly. So that's the advantage of using Luigi in 1-2.
All right, so we're going to see Toad here picking up the enemy. What's considered a heavy object, as YMGC is also going for the key kill strat in 1-2. Increases Toad's acceleration. We're going to see a nice safe drop it on top of this. This saves on the animation being on top of the vase there to go down to warp. Now you're going to see the SNES exclusive save and quit, where we're going to select the person here in 4-1, save, quit, and when you save in All-Stars, every world up to where you were is now unlockable. So we're going to go back to World 3, which is going to have a warp pipe that's going to take us to World 5, which has a warp pipe that will take us to World 7. This is actually faster than the NES any percent route, where you have to go play World 4 to warp to World 6 and then play the rest of the game that way.
Certainly. So ZZZ grabbing the potion. There's a lot of I guess little tops to these vegetables there, and it's hard to know which one. Some people use a strat where they jump a couple times and grab the potion. They'll be able to know, but ZZ knew exactly where it was, and now he is in World 5. Meanwhile, YMGC going through the save and quit. ZZZ will be using Luigi in 5-1. He is the preferred character because there are some very, very wide gaps in this level that you'll see coming up, and that's why you need Luigi's big jumping ability to make these gaps.
We are, in fact, going to see Luigi from here till through 7-1, 7-2. They're both going to play Toad here. So if you're a Luigi fanboy like myself, this is your favorite part of the run. All right, Birdo here only spits fireballs. Have to use this object. You're going to see intentional damage there for the fast kill. Beautiful job by ZZZ getting through there. It is dangerous. If you get off of your line just a little bit, that Birdo can be very trolly coming up. The second hardest Birdo, you will see the hardest Birdo coming up here, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. This next Birdo is the hardest. And I did want to say that ZZZ entered the clown's mouth. Well, I guess it was the bird's mouth. But at 1750, that'll give us a chance to compare where YMGC is after his Birdo kill. But you will be seeing a very difficult Birdo. This is the, I guess, the maroonish colored Birdo, and there's going to be like a fish and fireballs and some eggs. But before we get there, you got to do these vine climbs. Why don't you talk about those, Fork?
So the vine climbs, Luigi has a 7-frame window when you're falling vine where you can actually jump, and that is the fastest way, as you can see, to go up there. The other characters have roughly a 3-frame window to go through. Not as difficult of a trick, but the rhythm really needs to be there with Luigi in order to execute an optimal strat there. Falling through here, getting to the spikes, we are going to get up to this Birdo. As Takate said, not only this Birdo fires eggs and fireballs. The longer you go into the fight, the better chance you have of getting nothing but fireballs. But you're seeing a well-behaved Birdo there for ZZZ. Makes quick work of him. You've got that fish, you've got that gap. It's just such a difficult fight to get down, and it is a run killer for a lot of 2U runners. ymgc making quick work of those vine jumps, though, as I described earlier.
Yeah, those vine jumps will definitely save him some time relative to ZZZ's vine jumps. And ZZZ, he did have a good Birdo kill, but there is room for a little bit of speed extra to come out of there. So we'll just have to see how ymgc does. It was about 43 seconds when they entered this level. We'll see what it is when they start World 7. So great Birdo kill there. So we'll see when ZZZ gains control. 1948 on the dot. It was right as the 47 was changing to 48. And then we'll have to see when ymgc gets control. All of these letters, man, I'm getting tongue-tied.
Absolutely. So ZZZ showing Mechanic and Mario where go left instead of right. Here in 7-1, 5-3, that's the easy pipe to go through there. You've got this one tough jump to avoid the maze here. There is a chance that snippet will despawn, becomes very painful, but you'll see more of the ladder jumps here, just like the vine jumps. That is a very tight window on that super jump there for ZZZ, so that was beautifully executed. Wasting no time getting into another green Birdo fight. Another tough fight, though, just by Birdo's timing from when you get there. So ZZZ making quick work. We're on to the final level of the third game, Takate.
Yeah, very nice work on that Birdo kill. And I'm making some mental notes here in the chat. 35.5 seconds now when they started 7-1. So ymgc just clawing back about almost 10 seconds throughout this SMB2U run. So you can definitely see the quality of ymgc. Just a couple of mistakes is really what's put him behind, taking that hit and then that death in the SMB2 Japanese version. ZZZ, meanwhile, will do what we call the chain skip, level skip. He's basically doing one of those vine jumps off of the chain with Toad, which is, as you mentioned, only a 3-frame window. And that allows him to go on top of the level, skip a bunch of the level, drop down on this next chain that you'll see. And because he does that, there's magically a key there, where normally he'd have to kill this Birdo to get a key. You want to make sure you don't die so that you face that Birdo. If you do die, you'll have to face that Birdo again. You'll have to fight him to get that key. So this chain skip thing is really nice, and ZZZ on his way to face Wart.
Beautiful damage boost fight there on that final bird there. So you're going to see what ZZZ is going to set up, get his jumps right, and he's going to throw it into Wart's mouth right away. This is a timing thing they do with the jumps here. If you get it before the bubbles fire, you immediately get the next veggie. This is the optimal way to fight Wart, and ZZZ is making this just look absolutely easy. This is what we expect from the top runners in the world. One more veggie to go, I believe.
You guys just watched a masterclass in killing warts. That was an absolute masterclass. Perfectly done. Beautiful. And
he got fanfare skip. Whoa, unbelievable.
2-2. 22-22 on the entrance to the door there after killing Wart. And that'll give us a chance once again to compare ymgc, who himself is having a very nice Wart fight. But ZZZ, that was a clinical Wart fight.
ymgc is taking a safer route here to go against Wart, going for quicker shots in the bubble phases, but just unbelievable. He does get fanfare skip as well.
34
so that is
seconds.
A one-frame window hitting pause before the music starts that allows you to go to the door quicker. So where were we on time for ymgc?
34 seconds difference, so 22:56, I believe it was, when he entered the door there. So we are within the realm of 2 hands difference at this point. And we'll have to see what strategies the runners use. ZZZ and ymgc both going small in 1-1. ZZZ grabbing a power-up in 1-2. We'll have to see if ymgc decides to get the power-up in 1-2 as well. But the difference is around 2 hands. If that, if we get the second hand, especially, that's a 15-ish second hand. It's the shortest of the 3 hands. The others are about 20 seconds. So we're in the realm of 2 hands difference, but there is time to make up just by being, faster in all the other levels as well. So it's not just down to hands. And we do see ymgc grabbing the 1-2 power up as well. So both runners on the same strategy here.
All right, so ZZZ did avoid did not take the leaf in 1-3. He will be grabbing it here in 1-4. This is an optimal P-speed strat here. We'll see if ymgc goes for that as well, or if he plays a safer route and grabs an earlier tail to avoid all of this, but maintains, loses P-speed. He's going to have to get it here. This is going to cost him a little time, depending on how ymgc executes the fort. So this is a couple of a seconds difference here, but that makes all the world of difference coming into the hands.
Certainly now a 2-hand lead, instead of maybe putting them virtually tied, would put ymgc comfortably, I wouldn't say comfortably, but definitely ahead if they were to execute the same from this point out. But ymgc would have to get the optimal strat here that ZZZ did not. So now let's see how ymgc does on this leaf grab. Perfectly done. So there it is. That's a little bit of a time save. That makes some difference there. And we're probably within 30 seconds or so at this point of each other.
All right, everybody get your resident sleepers out. We are now in auto-scroller territory. So the biggest thing right now for the runners, anybody who runs SMB3, runs All-Stars, these levels are very simple. Just don't get hit, but it's when you get bored, when you lose focus, that you do get hit, and losing power up here isn't catastrophic as far as it goes in this first auto-scroller. There are recovery spots for it, but later on, if you kind of lose your place in there and take a hit, not having a power-up going into the second half of World 8 can be detrimental to the run.
Absolutely. Really just keep your focus here. You want to make sure you've got at least, not for necessarily for this auto-scroller, but for the ensuing auto-scrollers and some of the levels, you want to make sure you got that fire flower, so when you face the boom booms, you don't have to stomp on them 3 times. You can just shoot 5 fireballs in them. Much quicker kill. We'll save a few seconds per boom boom fight there. So the whole idea here, don't lose your focus. Make sure you don't get hit, and keep your power-ups here. The other thing is, if you're playing the NES version, there is going to be a bit of lag at certain times if you don't kill certain enemies in certain ways. Because this is the SNES version, and the SNES has a lot more processing power than the NES, as we watch ymgc play a little bit of soccer, basketball, volleyball with one of the bombs there. Because the SNES does have more processing power, you don't get as much lag. There still can be, if things get crazy, there still can be some lag, but certainly relative to the NES version, it's a lot easier to avoid lag in these auto-scrollers.
I will say it's a minute difference. Looked like ZZZ took a little bit of a bonk there going to the next one. It looks like the transition wasn't as smooth. It's a very slight time loss, but execution-wise, it could be it could make a difference of maybe a second or so, depending on how slow it really was. Beautiful job on the fire flower grab, though, there. That is the most difficult power-up grab in the game. At any point you take that hit, that fire flower no longer applies.
All right, so chat's already guessing hands. Left is ymgc, right is ZZZ. So we're going to go ymgc first, ZZZ second. How many hands are they going to get? 0, 1, 2, 3. More than 3 if they take a death. What do you guys think? What do you think, Sport?
I am honestly thinking that this game is going to be fair to each of them. We're going to go 2 and 2. And it's going to come down to execution in the actual World 8 levels.
I'm going to go with my heart. My heart tells me we need another match. So I'm going to go 0 and 2.
Ooh.
LK, I love it. LK guessing 0 and... That is a bold prediction right there, folks. While Speed Racer guesses 3 and 3, as does the base beast. So we got a couple of 1 in 64 guesses there. 3 1 in 64 guesses.
That's
we got
the
a
trick.
0 and 3, man.
That's the trick, though. You have just as good of odds of getting 0 hands as you do of getting 3 hands. So ZZZ gets the first hand.
hand. Oh dear. Well, If YMGC avoids that first hand, oh, nicely. Playing this as perfect as you can play that. He made mincemeat of that first hand. So well done by ZZZ there. That'll only lose him probably closer to 15 than 20 because of how perfect he played that hand. Skips the second one, but gets pulled in by the third one. So he gets the 2 longer hands. If YMGC can avoid some hands here, we're back. Okay, he gets the second hand, but that's the shortest of all the hands. So we'll have to see what happens at this point. ZZZ will retain a lead through the hands. It's just a matter of how big is that lead.
I will say the P speed strats for ZZZ were flawless in those 2 hands. YMGC had a little bit of slowdown, played it a little bit safer in the second hand. He gets the third hand as well, so it is 2-2. This is going to come down to execution right now at this point. ZZZ has to maintain his composure, not take a hit, play flawless, and this could be it for the Super Mario All-Stars tournament.
Spork, I think you guessed the correct number of hands like 2 out of the last 3, or maybe all 3 of the last 3 times we've been doing this.
You've seen enough of these go down. It's just the way it goes.
You're able to predict RNG. I don't even understand you.
If only I could apply it to my runs.
Yeah, well, that's where you've gone wrong.
So the airship here is a very difficult level. It moves a little bit faster than the other auto scrollers. You do have these rocky wrenches throwing at you. You kind of see them jumping to the right there to get ahead of the spawn of the reds that they throw at you. Having the tail or the fire flower makes this a lot easier. You can just blast them. If you're small or just a regular Super Mario power up, you do have to jump on top of them. So maintaining power up is really the way to go here.
Definitely.
So
make sure you keep that power up.
ZZZ does not use the star here, so he'll probably end up using the star in the fort. Chooses to play safe here, blast up through. He will get P speed in this next part right here. Oh, missed P speed. Oh, boy.
That will cost him time.
Commentator's curse lives on.
Time. All right, so they are 30 seconds apart as of when they entered that type there that you see YMGC that he just entered. So if he can do a flawless 8-1, and he's also going to use the star here, if he can do a flawless 8-1, he's going to make up lots of time because of what happened to ZZ there. So he just needs to make up this time. He has a couple bonks, but he doesn't bonk there. So slower bonk, or faster bonks, I should say, than ZZ had. So this gap is going to close a bit. Also, ZZ not getting the full P-speed strat there on the hill. I know the last 2 times YMGC has done this, he's gotten the perfect P-speed strat. So 31-24 on the nose. When ZZ hits that star card there, we'll have to see what YMGC does. So remember that, 31-24. Where does YMGC end up after this level?
All right, so taking the star strat here to get through these waffles.
Perfect
Beautiful
strat, by the way.
by YMGC. Wow. Coming through the fort here.
21
what you're going to
seconds.
see. 21 seconds. Made up 9. Wow, already. So you're going to see the P-switch here. You need to get an optimal speed in order to get into the door at the right frame, so you only have to use one P-switch instead of finding another hidden P-switch in this fort. Beautiful job by ZZZ, got through. So YMGC having to avoid those waffles, as you saw, instead of just jumping through them a little bit slower, but it balances out between the 2 levels.
Yeah, but he definitely will make up time relative to ZZ just because ZZ had the bigger bonks there and also didn't get the fast hill strat in 8-2. So ZZ will open it up to maybe 10 or 11 seconds, but I'm sorry, we said 22 or 23 seconds, but the gap did close over the past couple levels, and now we're back into auto scroller territory. So once again, resident sleepers, resident Rupert Smoky Dogs, whatever you got out there.
So choosing to go on top of the level, jump up and avoid all of these enemies right here. We are not seeing the world famous day 1 affiliate, etc., etc. Thank you, Uglib, for finding out this strat. YMGC doesn't do it as well. If you do stay all the way to the right and just blast fireballs like you're seeing ZZZ do now, none of those projectiles hit you. You blast through the rocky wrenches, you grab the bombs and kick them out of the way. It takes a very difficult level and makes it very menial.
Raccoon Dog, always on the ball with the name of the strategy there in chat. So shout outs to Raccoon Dog for every single episode busting out the name of the strategy there.
All right, so coming up through here, and again, it is an auto scroller. It is maintaining power up. It is going to come down to Bowser's Castle, and again, maintaining your power up, getting that fire kill on Bowser. That is going to be the difference here coming up.
Certainly, do not lose the power up. That is all ZZZ has to do. If he doesn't lose the power up, he is our grand champion. This first room, just make sure you don't get hit by those beams, and what you really want to do is make sure you don't fall on this next section. So he's got to climb here, avoid these waffles, and make sure he doesn't fall in this donut section after doing this clip.
All right, that is the easy clip. That is the one they actually highlight in Nintendo Power. Beautiful job by Z. Let's see if ymgc goes for any of the clips here to try to save a little bit of time. He is not going to go for it. ZZZ's taking these last couple donuts, gets through the room perfectly. It's going to come down to the Bowser kill. Here we go. There he is. Gets the first one on top. Let's see if he goes for the optimal. Try to get him to jump right through here. He gets it. ZZZ is going to get the fire kill. We have a grand champion in this tournament, Kate. It is ZZZ_PC taking it on the first try. ymgc does not get a second chance.
Yeah, that's right. Perfect 8-1 essentially for ZZZ. Kept his fire. ymgc right behind, fire killing Bowser as well, and a very worthy second place. ZZZ with a time of 34:57 on live split time. That is slightly better than ymgc's pre-race performance. You mentioned before we went live that ymgc had a time of 35:05, and this time no slouch as well. He's going to have about a 35:19 or so. So very consistent performance from ymgc. Just ZZZ, even better performance. Just didn't take the death in lost levels and that one extra damage, and they finished about 24 seconds apart. That was the difference there, was that lost level section.
Absolutely. Again, just GG's to both of them. A sub 35 time in a race setting. You have one shot. You don't get to reset. You don't get to spend your stream going for that optimal, and just a sub 35. Also, a sub 35 with two hands. So we're talking an insane time if ZZZ gets zero hands in that run to Kate.
Yeah, I mean, we have to hand it to both runners. A 35:19. Well, I mean, this is a minute and a half. So ymgc was essentially a minute and a half off the world record in a race with two hands, where, of course, the world record has no hands. So that's an incredible time as well. We have to just, tip our caps to both runners. This was an impressive display of speedrunning versatility. So many different physics between SMB1, SMB2U, SMB3, and then, of course, just the mayhem of the lost levels. We got to tip our caps to both of these runners. That was an impressive performance by each of them. And ZZZ just barely squeaking out the win because of one or two small little things that happened. And that's what it takes sometimes to be champion, is essentially have a flawless run while the other guy has maybe one mistake.
And absolutely, and it's not like either run. So, the number 2 versus the number 4 ranked on the leaderboard runners. Just again, we're gonna say this again and again. It came down to just brilliant execution by ZZZ. Even when he did make little mistakes, he was able to rebound and get a lot of the optimal strats. That wart kill, if he went for a safer wart kill in 2U like ymgc did, that could have been a couple of seconds different. That changes up a lot of things. A lot of things could have gone wrong just by that going through there. So being able to hit the optimal strats and minimize the mistakes, where again ymgc took the big death and lost levels, and the hit in SMB1, it's where it changed. So
certainly. And at one point they were about 44 seconds apart, and they finished 22 seconds apart. So ymgc really have that lead after he fell back in lost levels. And had he gotten one less hand, this would have been super tight. So I should say it is a good thing in the end that maybe both players got two hands. It kind of equalized out a little bit. It was just a really good run by both, and definitely ZZZ, the deserving champion. He didn't lose a single race in this whole tournament. He went undefeated, so that's what you like to see. congratulations to ZZZ. And yeah, I think also we should everybody thank in chat here. Thank Rupert83 for hosting this tournament, putting it on, organizing it, getting everything together, coordinating with our friends here at Speed Gaming. Without Rupert and without Speed Gaming, this wouldn't be possible. So let's make sure to thank both Rupert83 and to thank our hosts here, Speed Gaming, twitch.tv/speedgaming. They have a lot of different channels. Also, make sure to check out everything they do. Spork, what do you think of the whole tournament, man?
Oh man, it was such a blast. It's always fun. I am a Super Mario All-Stars runner. This is my main game. I love this game. I want more people to run this game. The 8-bit versions of these games are the more popular ones for good reason. They are classics. They are legends in the gaming community. But this is such a fun speed run. You have more than just any percent. You have warpless. You have 100%. You have the all 5 cart that includes Super Mario World. That one's a little bit harder to find, a little bit pricier than the All-Stars cart, but still, it's just such an amazing speed run to get into. We do have a Discord. I'd love for it to be a lot more active than it is. Please join, come in, talk to myself, talk to Rupert, talk to Ethan, talk to any of us. We are more than happy to be able to help you. It is such an amazing community. As always, like you said, Rupert83 just works tirelessly to put these on, to get us in line, to, yell at us when he needs commentators because nobody's saying anything. Speed Gaming does a fantastic job putting this on. They have like 6 different channels, a lot of different speedruns going on. I've learned a lot of different speedruns just watching Speed Gaming, just turning it on and just watching it while I'm doing my other stuff. Throw all your support at them. They do a fantastic job. They've got a lot of volunteers who work to help us set up these rooms, make sure everything's going great. Just a ton of respect for everybody who helps get this going. Absolutely fantastic tournament. I can't wait for the next one. Hopefully it's sooner rather than later. So again, shout outs to all the runners here. The Japanese community is a strong all-star speedrunning community. They showed up in this tournament and they did dominate. So again, GG's to ZZZ and YMGC for making it to the grand finals of this tournament. It's just, I cannot say it. I cannot say it enough how much fun this has been this past couple months.
Totally agree. The tournament ran without a hitch. Everything went off so quickly and smoothly. Really was the perfect tournament. Would love to see more runners run this next year. Next time we do this, and hopefully we get another one of these. I do want to say, if you are watching here on Speed Gaming, there's going to be a little bit of a break because we did plan, an extra hour just in case backup match. But at 11 o'clock will be Kirby and the Amazing Mirror here on Speed Gaming. Over on Speed Gaming 2 right now, they're finishing up the SMB3 randomizer, and then they'll be doing Link to the Past League Season 2. There's stuff going on at Speed Gaming 3 right now, Speed Gaming 4 right now, Speed Gaming 5 right now, and Speed Gaming 6 right now. 5 and 6 have some Link to the Past, as does 4. So just a lot of stuff going on in the Speed Gaming family of channels, so please check them out. They are always just having so many different great games and runs and tournaments and competitions. Once again, we can't thank them enough for hosting us here. But that is going to do it for this edition of the tournament. There were so many great memories, a lot of close finishes, some upsets, and of course, a lot of different runners getting featured here. Spork, any last special moments you got from this tournament?
Just as amazing as it was, you saw some fantastic finishes. I hate to bring it up again, Rupert. I'm so sorry. Just watching Rupert lose fire at the end and make up the difference. I know that happened a couple times here in the tournament, just to show how sporadic this whole thing went. My races against Rupert, against Roy. You had some guys who haven't really run All-Stars that joined in just for the tournament. Royal Gamer and GT Ace are both Super Mario experts, and they decided to come into this and learn the game really fast. Again, just to see the young runners topping in, Mars with another great tournament run, as you've been seeing over the last year for him. The future of speedrunning is looking great so far. So, especially with the Mario, I will say, if you aren't reading in chat right there, that Kirby and the Amazing Mirror run race tonight is also a tournament finals. We're seeing a lot of Grand Champions crowd this weekend, so definitely stick around for that. I have absolutely nothing left. I'm just going to keep rambling if you don't cut me off.
I'm cutting you off right here. Since we are all quarantined, at least I know I am, I'll be watching that Kirby finals tonight. So if you are all, hanging out, social distancing because of the coronavirus, the COVID-19, check out the Speed Gaming channels. I do want to give a couple on this tournament, couple shout outs. First of all, yes, Rupert did lose that close race. It happened. But remember, he won by 3 frames in the Warpless tournament for SMB1. So sometimes you win the close ones, sometimes you lose the close ones. But again, Speed Gaming hosted that one. Sometimes on Speed Gaming, you get a 3-frame finish, 3 frames apart. So make sure you check out the Speed Gaming channels and check out that Kirby and the Amazing Mirror finals tonight. I'll be watching. Maybe we'll see a 3-frame finish. But other than that, I just wanted to echo everything you said, Spork. Wonderful tournament. Great to see Mars, especially with his performance there. Some close finishes, some new names. Shout outs to Oilken, who came into this tournament with a 38.56 as his PB and quickly dropped that time down. I'm trying to click through all my tabs here and stall as I try to find Oilken's new PB time. But
he is
there
top
it is.
10.
It is 36.07. So he came in this tournament with like 39 minutes. Now he's down to 36 minutes. So shout outs to Oilken. Just so many great runners in this tournament. Make sure to check out the tournament bracket. I'm gonna it's challenge.com 2020_SMAS_all_4. And that way you'll be able to see all the different runners that were in this tournament. Make sure you give them all follows if you can. But that's about it. We are running up on less than 15 minutes on our block here, and I think we've rambled enough. So, Spork, you want to close us out?
Absolutely. So I'm going to say this again. Your tournament winner, ZZZ, I'm going to echo Takate. Follow every single one of these runners that you see in that tournament bracket. Follow Takate. He is an amazing speedrunner as well, a retro speedrunner of many games. Just keep tabs on all this. Stick around. All the amazing speedruns going through here. Your grand champion for the Super Mario All-Stars All-4 Any Percent Tournament. Again, ZZZ over ymgc. 34.57 to 35.19. Such a close race. I am the Elder Sport for Takate, for Speed Gaming, for every single runner in this tournament. Thank you all for watching us. We cannot do this without you guys coming in and watching it. We love having everybody here. Please stick around. Please keep your ears out for the next ones to go through. I am the Elder Sport saying, guys, stay safe, wash your hands, have a great evening. We will see you around.
Cheers, everyone.